Hi, we're going to kick off our Getting Ready for Interview Season series with questions that you should be prepared to answer during your teaching interviews. This is specifically for Spanish teachers or world language teachers. There are going to be things that apply to any teaching interview, but there are definitely a few examples that are really specific to language teachers. So if you're ready to get prepared, let's jump in. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley, aka Señorita Spanish, and thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring that bell so you get notified of all new content I create for you in the future. Thanks! So we're just gonna rattle them off here, okay? So why did you decide to study education, or why did you decide to study your language? What can you contribute to the culture of our building? How do you incorporate social emotional learning into your classroom? How do you communicate with or involve guardians? How do you involve guardians in the classroom? What is your teaching philosophy? How do you deal with conflict? And along that same line, talk about a time you had a conflict with a student, or talk about a time you had a conflict with a coworker, and what was the resolution of that conflict? How would you deal with a difficult parent or a difficult guardian? How do you measure growth? How do you differentiate your lesson plan to meet the needs of all your students? How would you describe your classroom management style? How will you motivate the kids who aren't motivated? How do you maintain your Spanish? And if you are a native speaker, they might not ask you that question, but they might anyways. You should be ready for a few questions in the target language, and usually in my experience, those questions are just kind of determining your skill level. It's not so much about the job itself, it's about whether or not you're actually capable of speaking the language. What professional goals do you have and why? And how do you work towards any professional goals that you might have? What has been your biggest challenge personally or professionally, and how did you deal with it? Okay, some of those are kind of tricky questions. The teaching philosophy one always throws me for a loop because it's like, teach. So if you're not prepared for it, it can kind of throw you off. So what I would recommend doing is just kind of sitting down with this list of questions and going through them in your mind until you can come up with a short response to each one, so that way you're prepared. And obviously this is an all-encompassing list. Sometimes interview panels can throw you a curveball, but just to kind of give you an idea or a feel for the things that you should be prepared to discuss in your interview. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. The next video in this series is going to be questions that you should ask while you're being interviewed. So when they say, well, what questions do you have for us? You can say, I got you, right? You can pull out your list, or at least have a few things in mind so that way you can be prepared. As always, I want you to keep in mind that an interview isn't just about that school hiring you for the job. It's about you finding a school that is a good fit for you, where you are going to be supported, where it is a healthy school environment. Make sure you keep your eyes out for that next video. So if you haven't yet, click that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notified when that next video comes out. Thanks so much for watching.